En la oscuridad de la noche, el silencio solo era roto por el ligero sonido del viento que hacía crujir las cortinas. Ana estaba sola, sentada en el borde de su cama, su corazón latía rápido, como si quisiera escapar de su pecho. En sus manos temblorosas sostenía una nota, un simple trozo de papel arrugado que, a primera vista, parecía insignificante. Pero Ana sabía que esa nota contenía algo mucho más poderoso que cualquier cosa que hubiera enfrentado alguna vez. Dudó por un momento, su mente inundada por un torbellino de pensamientos. Las palabras escritas allí parecían bailar ante sus ojos, cada letra contenía una verdad que nunca podría haber imaginado. Ana sintió un escalofrío recorrer su espalda, una oscura premonición que le decía que nada volvería a ser igual. Finalmente, con un profundo suspiro, volvió a leer las palabras que cambiarían su vida para siempre. Lo que estaba escrito allí era más que un simple mensaje, era una revelación, una advertencia, un terrible secreto que estaba a punto de explotar en su mundo. Y en ese momento Ana supo que no había vuelta atrás. Estuvo a punto de verse sumergida en un abismo de misterios y peligros que la obligarían a cuestionar todo lo que sabía. Una simple elección, una nota inesperada y la vida de Ana nunca volvería a ser la misma. Ana siempre ha sido una joven decidida, con una fuerza interior que pocos podrían imaginar al mirar su delicado rostro. A sus 22 años, su vida había estado marcada por desafíos que la convirtieron en una mujer resiliente. Al crecer en una familia humilde, Ana aprendió desde temprana edad a llevar el peso de las responsabilidades, anteponiendo los deseos de su familia a los suyos propios. Tenía sueños, por supuesto. Sueños que nunca llegaron a materializarse, atrapados en un futuro lejano que parecía cada vez más inalcanzable. Su juventud la dedicó a cuidar de sus padres y hermanos, abandonando poco a poco la idea de que su destino podría ser diferente. Pero lo que Ana nunca esperó fue que otros decidirían su destino. Obligada a casarse con un hombre mucho mayor, alguien a quien apenas conocía, Ana sintió que la vida se apretaba a su alrededor. El matrimonio concertado fue una solución a las deudas de su familia, una decisión que se lo impuso sin otra alternativa. El sentimiento de impotencia carcomía sus pensamientos, pero su deber para con su familia era una carga que llevaba con resignación. Sin embargo, esa noche, con la nota en sus manos, todo cambió. Ana, que siempre había sido leal y obediente, empezó a darse cuenta de que tal vez había una salida, una elección que nunca había considerado. Pero para que esto sea posible, necesitaría tomar la decisión más difícil de su vida, seguir el camino marcado por otros o encontrar el coraje para luchar por su propio destino. Mientras la nota aún pasaba en sus manos, Ana sintió que su corazón se encogía con una mezcla de miedo y esperanza. Las palabras escritas allí eran crípticas, llenas de oscuras promesas y advertencias veladas. Algo dentro de él le decía que en ese matrimonio había algo más que un simple acuerdo financiero. Pero ¿qué exactamente? La idea la atormentaba. El hombre con el que estaba a punto de casarse, mucho mayor, distante y enigmático, parecía haber elegido a Ana por razones que ella escapaba a su comprensión. Había algo extraño en su insistencia, En su forma de tratarla como si fuera una paisa esencial de un juego cuyas reglas desconoce. La nota mencionaba un secreto. Un secreto guardado bajo lave en la mansión que pronto se convertiría en su prisión. Ali estaba escrita la promesa de una revelación, de algo que lo cambiaría todo, como un presagio de lo que estaba por venir. Pero ¿cuál podría ser este secreto? ¿Y por qué la eligieron a ella para descubrirlo? Ana se encontró al borde de un precipicio. Sabía que la decisión de huir no solo sería un acto de rebelión contra su destino impuesto, sino una entrada en un laberinto de misterios que la llevarían a enfrentar oscuras verdades. Y en el fondo sabía que cualquier elección que hiciera a partir de ese momento no estaría exenta de consecuencias. Ana couldn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, the words in the note echoed in her mind like a disturbing whisper. Fear and curiosity mixed in her chest, creating an almost unbearable tension. She knew that if she wanted to escape, she would have to act quickly, but what awaited her outside those walls also terrified her. The next morning, Ana began to observe the house with new eyes. The imposing mansion that would soon become her home seemed to hide secrets in every corner. She noticed details that had previously gone unnoticed: locked doors, corridors that led to unknown places, furtive glances from the servants. With each new clue, the feeling that something was deeply wrong only intensified. During a walk through the gardens, Ana found a key lying among the stones on a path. Something told her that it was no coincidence. With trembling hands, she put the key away, feeling a chill down her spine. What could be hidden behind one of the mansion's locked doors? Could this be the key to the secret mentioned in the note? The weight of the decision began to weigh heavily. Ana knew that if she wanted to discover the truth, she would have to be brave and move forward, even if it meant facing the unknown. But each step she took towards the revelation seemed to take her deeper into an abyss of uncertainty. The mansion, which during the day seemed grand and majestic, at night transformed into a labyrinth of shadows, where every corner seemed to hold a new mystery. The tension grew, and Ana felt that time was running out. The feeling of being watched would not leave her alone, and she began to realize that, in order to survive, she would need to be smarter than anyone who might be watching her steps. That night, as the house fell into a deep silence, Ana made up her mind. With the key hidden in her dress, she knew that she could no longer postpone the discovery of the secret that seemed to lurk around every corner of the mansion. Fear accompanied her every step, but curiosity, mixed with a desperate need to understand what was happening, was even stronger. She walked through the dark corridors, her heart beating so hard it seemed to echo off the walls. The key in her hand seemed to burn, a symbol of the risk she was about to take. Ana knew that from the moment she turned that key in one of the locked doors, there would be no going back. She stopped in front of a solid wooden door, one of the few that always remained closed. With a last breath, she tried to calm the thoughts that hammered in her mind. What if I don't like what I find? What if this changes everything? But there was no room for hesitation anymore. She inserted the key into the lock and, with a slight turn, heard the click that separated her from the truth. The door creaked as it opened, revealing a room that seemed untouched by time. The air inside was heavy, as if it carried the weight of years of hidden secrets. In the dim light of a chandelier, Ana saw something that made her stop breathing for a moment. An old chest, locked with a thick chain, rested in the center of the room. On it, an aged envelope, with her name carefully written on it. She reached out hesitantly to take the envelope. With each passing second, her mind screamed that she should get out of there, run away and never look back. But the desire to know was stronger. She opened the envelope with trembling fingers and began to read the letter inside. The words written there were like a blow, revealing a secret so terrible that Anna felt the ground give way beneath her feet. The revelation paralyzed her. Everything made sense now: the arranged marriage, the insistence of the groom, the strange behavior of the servants. Anna found herself faced with an impossible choice: face the horror of the secret she now knew, or continue to run, knowing that she would never escape what was to come. Her heart was beating fast, and her emotions were on edge. The decision she made that night would not only affect her future, but could change the lives of everyone around her. Courage and desperation fought within her, and Anna knew she had to act, but each step forward seemed to take her deeper into a nightmare from which she might never wake up. As Anna absorbed the words of the letter, a sudden sound in the hallway made her freeze. Light, barely audible footsteps approached the half-open door. She quickly blew out the candle, plunging the room into total darkness, and held her breath, hoping she wouldn't be discovered. Fear gripped her, but part of her mind was focused on the horrible truth she had just read. The footsteps stopped in front of the door. Anna could feel their presence on the other side, an invisible weight pressing against the thin wood. Whoever was there knew she had discovered something. Perhaps they knew how far she had unraveled the secret the letter contained. For a moment that seemed like an eternity, silence reigned. Then the sound of the footsteps began to fade away, echoing softly down the hallway. Anna only let out a breath when she was sure she was alone again. Her heart was hammering in her chest, but now there was something else, a determination that had not been there before. She knew that if she wanted to survive and protect those she loved, she had to act quickly. With the letter still in her hands, Anna approached the locked trunk. The chain seemed solid, but the key she had found earlier, now revealed to be much more than a mere find, fit perfectly into the lock. With a firm movement, she turned the key, hearing the metallic click that freed the trunk of its secret. She opened the lid slowly, as if expecting something to jump out. What she found, however, was even more disturbing than she could have imagined. Inside the trunk, among old documents and faded photos, was indisputable evidence of crimes her fiancé had committed, things that linked him to a dark and violent past. But that was not all. At the bottom of the trunk, wrapped in a worn cloth, was an object that explained why she had been chosen. Something that linked her directly to this man's terrible past. Anna realized, with growing horror, that her marriage was not just a matter of convenience or family debt. She was a key player in a meticulously crafted plan, a plan she was now determined to destroy at all costs. But before she could fully process what she had learned, the sound of footsteps returned, this time faster and more purposeful. They were coming straight for the bedroom. Anna knew she had only seconds to decide what to do. The confrontation she had been avoiding all along was about to happen, and she would need all the courage she could muster to face it. Anna felt panic rising as the footsteps approached quickly. There was no more time to plan or hesitate. She grabbed the object from the bottom of the trunk and hid it inside her clothes, trying to remain calm as her thoughts raced in 1,000 directions. What she had discovered was too big, too dangerous to stand still. She knew that if she were caught here, now, she might never leave that mansion alive. The sound of a key turning in the door lock made her react instinctively. Anna hid behind a heavy curtain, hoping the darkness would keep her hidden. The door creaked open, and a tall, imposing figure stepped into the room. The air seemed frozen. She knew it was him. The man she was promised to, the same man who was now revealed as a monster by the evidence she had found. He entered slowly, silently scanning the room, as if sensing her presence. Anna held her breath, every muscle in her body tense. If he discovered her, what would happen? Did he know how far she had gone? Was he there to silence her, to ensure that her secret would never be revealed? The man stood beside the now open trunk, his expression unreadable in the dim light, but Anna could feel the anger emanating from him, a silent but intense hatred. She knew she didn't have much time. What would he do when he realized what was missing? And what would he do when he learned that she had seen the letter? Suddenly, he turned to leave the room, but something made him stop. His eyes scanned the darkness and Anna realized that he was sniffing out fear, like a predator who knows its prey is nearby but has yet to locate it. Terror washed over her, but then, in a moment of clarity, Anna knew what she had to do. She could no longer run. If she wanted to survive and end this nightmare, she would have to face it head-on. She took a step out of her hiding place, her heart pounding in her chest like a drum. Her hands were sweaty, but the voice that came from her lips was steady. "What you've hidden here won't stay buried forever." The man turned to her, surprised for a moment, but then a sinister smile spread across his face. "Do you really think you can face me, Anna? You have no idea what you're involved in." But Anna didn't back down. She knew she was in danger, but she also knew there was something bigger at stake. The truth needed to be revealed, and she was willing to fight for it, even if it meant facing an enemy far more powerful than she could ever imagine. The tension in the air was almost palpable, and Anna felt like she was about to enter a battle not only for her life, but for her soul. The decision she made in that moment would determine her fate, and she had no choice but to fight with all the strength she had left. The silence that followed Anna's statement seemed endless. The man in front of her, who had once intimidated her, now seemed like a direct adversary, someone she knew she would need to face decisively. He took a step toward her, his eyes fixed on hers, assessing, calculating. The smile that had once graced his lips disappeared, replaced by an expression of pure determination. Anna felt the ground shake beneath her feet, but she stood her ground. She was no longer willing to be a victim, to passively accept the fate that had been laid out for her. The words that came out of her mouth were charged with a strength she didn't know she possessed. "I won't let you continue with this. You think you can use me, manipulate me, but I've found out everything. And I'm going to put an end to this game." The man stepped forward, his face contorted in an expression of fury. "You don't know who you're dealing with, Anna. This goes beyond you, beyond anything you can imagine. If you insist on going down this path, there's no going back." But Anna had already made her decision. With a swift movement, she removed the object hidden in her clothing, the physical evidence that linked her fiancé to the heinous crimes he had committed. The object gleamed faintly in the light, but its significance was undeniable. The man stopped, his anger transformed into something more dangerous, pure hatred. "Do you think this will save you?" he said, his voice thick with contempt. "This is only a fragment of what is truly at stake. You do not understand that you are tampering with forces you cannot control. If you continue, you will destroy not only yourself, but everyone around you." Anna felt the truth in his words, but she also felt something else, an unshakable conviction that she was on the right path. "If this is so, then so be it. But I will not bow to you. I will fight to the end, and if necessary, I will reveal everything. You will no longer control me." The confrontation was inevitable now. The man took a step closer, ready to silence her once and for all, but Anna was prepared. The fear that had paralyzed her before had turned into courage. Every muscle in her body was ready to fight, and she knew that at this moment, there was no room for error. The final confrontation was about to begin, and Anna was willing to risk everything, knowing that this would be the moment that would define her destiny. She was ready to face the consequences, no matter how dire they might be. And with that fierce determination, she faced her opponent, knowing that the battle that was to come would decide the future of both of them. The air was heavy with pent-up tension, each second seeming to drag as Anna and the man stared at each other, as if time were about to collapse under the weight of what was about to happen. She knew that this was the point of no return, where all her previous choices culminated in a single decisive moment. The man, with a sudden movement, tried to take the object from Anna's hands, but she was faster. With a strength he did not expect, she dodged, holding tightly the evidence that could destroy him. The anger that had previously been contained now turned into violent action, and he charged at her with unbridled fury. Anna fought with all her strength, using every bit of courage she had left. The room turned into a claustrophobic battlefield, where every move was crucial. She managed to dodge his blows, increasingly aware that her survival depended on her cunning and determination. In a moment of carelessness on the man's part, Anna found a gap and managed to push him against the wall, the impact echoing through the room. He groaned in pain, but his anger drove him on. Anna's eyes fixed on his, filled with a mixture of desperation and determination. She knew that to end this, she would need more than just physical strength. Using the last of her breath, Anna screamed for help, her voice echoing through the halls of the mansion. She knew that the servants could hear, that perhaps someone, anyone, would come to her aid. But even as she waited, she prepared for the worst, knowing that this battle could end tragically. The man, realizing that he was losing control of the situation, made one last desperate attempt to subdue her. But Anna, fueled by adrenaline and the will to live, managed to dodge and, in one swift movement, knocked him down. He fell to the ground, stunned, but before he could recover, Anna grabbed the object she had hidden and pointed it at him, as a symbol of her imminent victory. "Enough," she said, her voice firm despite the tremor in her body. "It's over. I'm going to reveal everything, and you can't stop me anymore." The man, finally defeated, looked at her with a mixture of hatred and resignation. He knew he had lost, that the secret he had kept for so long was now in Anna's hands, and that his life, as he knew it, was falling apart. The truth she had discovered was about to come out, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. Anna, still panting, felt a wave of relief and fear at the same time. She had won this battle, but she knew the war was far from over. What she did next could change everything, not only for her, but for everyone involved in this nightmare. But one thing was certain, she was no longer the same woman who had been forced into this marriage. Now, she was a woman who had faced her greatest fears and survived. As the man lay on the ground, defeated and silent, Anna felt the weight of what had just happened begin to fall on her shoulders. The momentary relief of victory gave way to deep reflection. She had fought, she had survived, but now she had to deal with the consequences of her actions. The object in her hands, the key to the truth she was about to reveal, felt heavier than ever. She stepped away from the man, keeping her gaze fixed on him, but her mind was elsewhere, contemplating what would come next. The mansion, which had previously seemed like a labyrinth of shadows and secrets, now seemed strangely quiet, as if it were holding its breath, waiting for Anna's next move. She knew that revealing the secret contained in that object would change everything. The truth she had discovered could destroy lives, including her own. But at the same time, Anna felt a growing responsibility to expose what had been hidden for so long. She could not allow those crimes to go unpunished, even if it meant sacrificing her own safety. With renewed determination, Anna left the room, leaving the man behind, still dazed by defeat. Her footsteps echoed through the empty hallways as she made her way to the mansion's main entrance. Each step was an affirmation of her new strength, of her will to move forward, no matter what the future held. As she reached the front door, Anna paused, looking back one last time. The past, with all its fears and doubts, was behind her. She knew that the life that awaited her outside would not be easy, but she also knew that she was no longer trapped in a destiny that others had chosen for her. She took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air on her face, and took the first step out of the mansion. The horizon was beginning to lighten with the first rays of dawn, symbolizing a new beginning, a new chance to forge her own path. As she walked towards freedom, Anna reflected on everything she had learned. The lessons of courage, resilience, and the importance of fighting for the truth, even when the price was high. Her life would never be the same again, but at the same time, she knew that she now had the power to shape it however she wanted. Deep in her heart, Anna felt a peace she had not known in a long time. She had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious, and now, she was ready for whatever challenge the future might bring. The past was behind her, and ahead of her was a future that, for the first time, she felt she could truly call her own. As Anna walked towards the dawn, the first rays of sunlight softly illuminating the horizon, she felt a rush of mixed emotions. The freedom she had longed for was now within her reach, but the journey she had endured had left its mark. Each step she took her away from the mansion and closer to a new beginning, but it also carried the weight of the truths she had unearthed. She knew that although she had escaped, the battle was far from over. The secret she had uncovered could not simply be buried again. The responsibility of exposing the truth weighed heavily on her shoulders, but with that weight came the determination to do what was right. As she continued on her way, Anna reflected on what she had learned. Life, with all its uncertainties and challenges, had taught her that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. She had been tested in ways she could never have imagined, and in the process, she had discovered a strength within herself that she had never known existed. As she reached the road that stretched out before her, Anna paused, taking one last look back. The mansion, now in the distance, seemed smaller, almost insignificant, compared to the vast world that opened up before her. What had once been a symbol of imprisonment and fear was now just a reminder of what she had overcome. She smiled, a smile soft but full of conviction. She knew there were still challenges ahead, but she was ready to face them. The experience had transformed her, not just into someone who had survived, but into someone who was ready to truly live, to fight for her own desires and dreams. And so, as the sun slowly rose in the sky, Anna took the first step on her new journey. A step that was not just physical, but symbolic, a step toward a future shaped by her own choices, not by the fate others had tried to impose upon her. And you, Anna thought as she continued her walk, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Sometimes, what seems like the end is just the beginning of something much greater. She knew that no matter what came next, she was ready. What had once been fear was now just a distant memory, and in its place was an unwavering determination to live her life fully, with courage and purpose. As Anna continued her walk, feeling the gentle warmth of the sun on her face and the peaceful sounds of nature all around her, she realized that she was finally free. Free from the chains of her past, the fears that haunted her, and the expectations others had placed upon her. Each step she took her further away from the shadow of the mansion and into a new life full of possibilities. She was now in control of her destiny, and the feeling was intoxicating. The courage that had guided her this far would continue to be her companion, helping her navigate the challenges ahead. Anna knew she could not predict what would come next, but she was prepared to face anything with the same strength that had sustained her thus far. She paused beside a large, leafy tree, looking down the path that lay ahead. The world seemed bigger and wider than before, full of opportunities and mysteries to be unraveled. Anna smiled, a smile full of life, knowing that her journey was just beginning. "If you like this story," she said in her mind, as if speaking directly to the heart of whoever was listening to her narrative, "don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Share this video with those you know who appreciate a good dose of mystery and courage. And remember, sometimes life tests us in unexpected ways, but it is in the choices we make that we discover who we truly are." With that thought, Anna continued on her way, feeling stronger and more confident than ever. She was ready for whatever came, knowing that no matter how difficult the road ahead of her was, she had the ability to overcome any obstacle. And with that, she disappeared into the light of the new day, a woman transformed, a story yet to be written.